Hi, it's Charity Lowe here, and I'm going to show you how you can quill with using the Vinci Eye App with any picture. First, you need to select the image that you want to use. I'll be using classic mode because this is going to be very simple and quick to do. Make sure you have things where you want it to be for placement, so I push the move button and I am shrinking it using 2 fingers. And then once you push the move button again, it will lock in place so you can zoom in and work on one section at a time. I'm using a hard pencil, H4, and light pressure so that the pencil marks are not as noticeable if I were using a softer pencil. We don't want the pencils to be noticeable. So just take your time and trace all the lines that you need to trace. With quilling, you don't need to worry about all the fine little details. The simpler the image, the easier it's going to be to quill. It should look something like this when you're done tracing. Now we got to pick out the colors that we want to use. I'm going to be using mostly orange and blues and a little bit of green. Here I am trying my best to make sure I get the right length of paper by following the lines that I sketched out earlier. And then I'm going to tear off the end so there's not a lot of paper and then glue it together. I have to hold the piece in place just a little bit so that it sticks nice and well. A little bit of glue goes a long way. Now we're going to glue the bottom edge of this circle just a little bit all the way around and then place it right in the center of the flower. And then we're going to put a little bit of pressure on it to let it set, and then we'll move on to the next step. Here I'm using a quilling tool. This will help me get a spiral nice and tight. And this is going to be the very center of the flower. Here I am loosening the pressure so that I make the spiral a little bit larger and a little bit looser. And then we're going to glue the tip and then hold it in place on itself. And glue the bottom of it and then press it right down on this paper right in the center of the flower. Now I'm just doing some smaller spirals. I rip the papers into quarter and then I'm just opening them up a little bit so that they fit perfectly in between the very center and the edge of the flower. Here, what I did is I just curled the tip of the paper and then I shaped the paper into the shape of petals, kind of having that little swirl in the center of the petal just for a little extra decorative flair. And I just continued doing that process until I filled all the way around the flower. Honestly, the sketch that we did earlier is just a guideline. You don't have to be perfect with your quilling, just have some fun with it. Now it's time for the stems and the leaves. I am using 2 pieces of quilling paper just straight so that I can make the stem. And then for the leaves, I am creating some very loose coils and then pinching them to create the shape of the leaves. The leaves were very random looking, so you're just making it up as you go, just trying your best to mimic the shapes that you see in your reference photo. One of the most important things that you need to do when you're learning a new arts or crafts is experiment. This way you will know firsthand what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Don't be scared and start creating. I hope you enjoyed this video.